What's going on, guys? Yes, Fragile, closing it out, Heart of the Sunrise. Originated as a love song that Anderson wrote for his then-wife Jennifer, which covered the sunrise and the inability for humans to fully understand it, and the excitement and friction of London's streets, and one man feeling lost in it. That's all an interesting jumble, putting all that together, okay? The track is where Wakeman's classically trained background came into play. Oh, it didn't come into play at all on Cans of Brahms. Come on. He introduced the band to recapitulation, a musical concept where previous segments in a piece are revisited. Literally what I was talking about in Roundabout. Okay, anyways. Musical concepts where previous segments in a piece are revisited. Bruford considers it as the group's breakthrough piece in terms of originality. It had the drama and the poise and the kind of fey, pastoral, Englishy lyrics at the beginning, where the music all gives way to slightly feminine vocal. Howe originally played the song on the ES5 Switchmaster, but it failed to produce satisfactory results. He found success with his Gibson ES175. Several seconds after the song, the sound of a door opening is heard before a reprise of We Have Heaven is played, acting as a hidden track. Okay, all right, there it is. Let's do this. Heart of the Sunrise. Bam. Very cool part. Gives this with the chords behind it, give it this kind of like mystery feel. Right here is very like Return of February. Just this little part. Just that. Doing a different octave.
Life comes to you and you follow. Lose one onto the heart of the sunrise. Sharp distance. How can the wind with its arms around me? Lost on a wave, then after dream on to the heart of the sunrise. Sharp distance. How can the wind with so many around me? Lost in the city. Lost in their eyes as you hurry by, counting the broken ties they decide. Love comes to you, and then after, dream on to the heart of the sunrise. You're lost on a wave that you're dreaming. Dream on to the heart of the sunrise. Sharp distance. How can the wind with its arms all around me? Sharp distance. How can the wind with so many around me?
Yep, sounds great.
Feel lost in the city. Lost in their eyes as you hurry by, counting the broken ties they decided.
Jeez. It's like at the drop of a dime.
Straight line moving and removing sharpness of the color sunshine. Straight light searching all the meanings of the song. Long last treatment of the telling that relates to all the words song. Dreamer easy in the chair that really fits you. close to you, and then after, dream on to the heart of the sunrise. Short distance. How can the wind with its arms around me? Short distance. How can the wind with so many around me? I feel lost in the city.
Jeez. Wow. You know, I think this track is probably the most taxing for the listener out of all of them yet. Yet it's so nice, right? The melodic stuff is really nice. The part that I could tell John Anderson wrote, right? All the melodic and lyric stuff of his, right? It's just great. It's great. It's really nice. There were different parts that were reminding me of like jazz, but more contemporary jazz. Thinking of like a singer like Theo Blackman. You guys probably don't know who that is. It's like a New York jazz guy. I used to listen to Theo Blackman and Ben Monder a lot. And some of it was reminding me of that kind of thing. Yeah, just like the freeness of it. Yeah, very cool. The melodic content is great. It's great. That's what I really like about it. You know, the playing, obviously, right? The playing, crazy part, right? Just going all around the octaves of it, jumping up and down and up, high, you know, between Steve Howe and Chris Squire, moving that whole part all around. It's cool. It is a lot, though. Yeah, this track I feel like is the most. It's more taxing than Roundabout. It's the most out of all the recordings yet. All their just individual tracks that I've heard yet. This is the most taxing. It's still not like intensely crazy compared to other prog stuff that just jumps around like nutso. But for them, thus far, this is the furthest that they really stretch the listener. That's what I would say. It's still really cool though. Really nice. Again, the melodic content for this track is what gets me. For sure. More than the playing and all that. You know, all that stuff is like a given to me. It's just a given. They're all ridiculous. I think John Anderson sounds fantastic on the track, vocally. And yeah, the melodic content. That's just like what gets me on this track. It's a really nice melody. Cool. That's the album. There it is. All right, well, what do they say? Fragile received a mostly positive reception upon its release. Billboard magazine selected the album in its Billboard Pick feature, describing it as vibrant, soothing, tumultuous, placid, and instrumentally brilliant, and Anderson's vocals deliciously ingratiating. Okay. In his review for Rolling Stone, this dude pointed out the album's gorgeous melodies, intelligent, carefully crafted, constantly surprising arrangements, concise and energetic performances, and cryptic but evocative lyrics. But pointed out that yes, tend to succumb to the show-off syndrome. Their music, notably We Have Heaven, often seems designed only to impress and tries too hard to call attention to itself. Would you say that that's another way of saying selfish, right? Like I was talking about, right? Who is this for? Right? I said that. It feels that way. It just does, right? And I get it. I've done it too. I've done it also, right? So I know what it's like and can see all that. So anyways, this person reviewed the album in the Daily Reporter, calling Wakeman a very talented organist. Oof. Oof, that's a little narrow there. Okay. He named Roundabout the album's finest cut, an 8-minute masterpiece incorporating unusual rhythm and music. He notes that despite its limitations and faults, Fragile remains interesting and enjoyable. Melody Maker gave a mixed review. It opened with, Fragile does not seem to go anywhere or have any theme except displaying Yes's technical ability. If they didn't have all of those like solo tracks, I wonder if they would still say that. Even though there's plenty of technical ability showcased in the song tracks, right? Plenty. I mean, we just heard Hard the Sunrise, right? Plenty of it. But, I wonder if you would get rid of the solo stuff, if you'd still have that sentiment. It's not until Heart of the Sunrise that they get there. It's all a little too much like Exercises. I didn't read this before. You guys know how I do this. I didn't read this before listening. I always do read this section of the wiki page at the end, just because I want to see, what's said. And there you go. Clever and beautifully played. Like Exercises, clever and beautifully played. Right. It's not like, again, it's like, okay, yeah, they can play. That's great. Cool. But it sounds like a musical exercise. It just does. Just does. I've played a zillion exercises, right? Like that's part of practicing and getting better on an instrument. You're playing etudes and different things like that. Exercises. Okay? The review praised Roundabout for Howe's guitar work and compared its style to Yours Is No Disgrace from the Yes album. Circus Magazine summarized review of the album with Fragile is unquestionably their most cohesive and meddlesome undertaking. Okay? 2005, Fragile was included in the musical reference publication 1001 Albums You Must Hear Before You Die. This person wrote, Fragile was Yes's breakthrough album, propelling them in a matter of weeks from a cult act to an international phenomenon. Not coincidentally, it also marked the point where all of the elements of the music and more that would define their success for more than a decade fell into place fully formed. The science fiction and fantasy elements that had driven the most successful songs on the Yes album were pushed much harder here, and not just in the music, but in the packaging of the album. The Roger Dean designed cover was itself a fascinating creation that seemed to relate to the music and drew the purchaser's attention in a manner that few records since the heyday of the psychedelic era could match. Okay. In 2014, Readers of Rhythm voted it the 6th greatest drumming album in the history of prog rock. Okay. That's interesting. So the part that I wanted to go back to was when they said breakthrough album. Calling it the breakthrough album, propelling them in a matter of weeks. Where earlier I thought that I vaguely remember reading that the Yes album was the breakthrough for them. I like the Yes album. I thought it was great. I think that, let me go back to what was on the Yes album. Because for you just watched me check it out. But for me, I did that over 3 weeks ago. Like at least 3 weeks ago. At least it was probably 4 weeks. It was probably a month ago. Yeah, Yours Is No Disgrace, Starship Trooper, I've Seen All Good People, Perpetual Chain. Yeah, see, that album, I might like that album better. That's really hard to say. I probably shouldn't even say that because they're different. But to me, that album, the Yes album, is really where I suppose you could call it like Permanent Waves to Moving Pictures, I suppose, right? Is that silly? Is that ridiculous? It's kind of a little bit like that. And that's where I love Permanent Waves. I'm like, Permanent Waves is the shit. It's where it's at. It's like, yeah, okay, Moving Pictures is like what really everyone, like it's played constantly. That's like Roundabout, right? And there's great stuff on it also, right? But then there's all this other stuff, like the solo tracks, and that's just like, I can leave all of it. I could leave all of that. Get rid of all that stuff. Get rid of all of it. Where the only real solo thing that happened on the Yes album was Clap, which was cool. Or The Clap or whatever, whatever. Which was cool. Adventure was interesting. I vaguely remember Adventure being interesting, right? And then Perpetual Change was cool. Yeah, I think that I probably, for the solo tracks reason alone on Fragile, I think I like the Yes album better. Just as a whole. Just as a whole. Because again, I'm gonna skip every time. Every time. I don't need to hear Cans and Brahms. I'm not trying to hear that after I hear a Roundabout. It's just seems out of place. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. What do you guys think? I mean, this is obviously a classic record, right? But that's how I feel about it. And it's interesting that I felt that way also when I first had the album in high school. I maybe didn't think about it in that same kind of way. I just knew, just instinctually, I don't want to hear this. I don't want to hear this. I don't want to hear this. I want to hear this. And I want to hear this. That's it, basically. Although South Side of the Sun, South Side of the Sky, and Long Distance Runaround were cool also. I like them also. Any of like the songs, right? I just like that. I like them. That's what gets me. So cool. There it is. Fragile. All right. Moving on. Close to the Edge. This one will also be interesting. This I have not heard. I don't think I... Oh, wait a minute. No, we did a Siberian Cat Root. Wow, there's just 3 tracks on this whole damn album. Wow, Jesus. Okay, so that's going to be... Alright, that'll be a thing. Yeah, I don't think I've heard Close to the Edge. I don't think I have. Don't think I have. So anyways, we'll get to that when we get to it. There it is. I'm here. We're back. Back, sort of. Kind of. I'm here. Alright. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Later.